Yes, this is awesome. Feels good, right? But we know what's happening these days in terms of technology, right? We might view this website on a desktop, but compared to viewing content on a desktop versus a mobile device, you're probably using a mobile device more. Who used a mobile device even to get here? Maybe used maps. I'm probably the only one. No, you guys live here, that's right. You're not going to raise your hands. But that's what I used it for. You know, I joke about this, you know, who uses it as a nightlight at night? Do you guys use your mobile phone as a flashlight? I do all the time in the hotel. It becomes my alarm. It's my watch. I don't need this. This thing could be broken. I'm always checking my phone. It's a way to be antisocial in line. Maybe back there you're like, I'm just going to play with my phone. I'm not really doing anything. But the mobile device serves lots of purposes, knowing especially that by next year, I think, by 2013, it's forecasted that more people are going to be viewing the internet on a mobile device over a desktop. So that's what's going on. People are viewing all that content. So how the heck do we make content for mobile devices? Well, we get into responsive design when I talk about that. You know, again, designing for the desktop, that's where we're at today. Oh, we could do that using Muse. What happens as these devices change down to a laptop? Oh, what happens to my content? I got to design for it. Scaling down, oh, tablet, that's right. Who's using an iPad in this room? Like, yeah, a lot of you guys. Awesome. Okay, so again, tablet devices, viewing content there. Oh, that's right. We got the portrait mode on that device as well. I got to design for that. Oh, let's scale it down even further if I scale this down. And then my mobile device. So you can see right here, designing for these different screens is really our challenge. And that's where we're at today. It's like, how the heck do I do that? And you'd use what is called media queries. So this is my fun example. This is the expressiveweb.com. Big Spaceship, Joshua's here from Big Spaceship, who are the creators of this. Really cool. Because this shows a cool example of media queries. I'd query the device or the browser and adjust my content accordingly. So I love this. I can take this fun example, scaling this down. Oh, it's hamburger. Let's throw on some lettuce. Oh, let's put a patty on there. Oh, there's the cheese, a tomato. Oh, wait, I didn't want tomato. Let's take that off. But again, making it down, bam, there's our little burger. Isn't that cool? That's fun, and that's why I like being in this industry, is just creating cool things like this. But most importantly, this shows what mobile is all about, making things bite-sized as well, designing for that specific experience versus the desktop experience. In our case, and again, this is the project I want to focus on. This is the Pluralist website, so it's a fashion website, but this is what I'd want to make. And this site scales appropriately as well. Scaling down from, say, desktop to my mobile experience, just like that. You can see it scale down to my mobile version. My tablet and my mobile version right here that even has some mobile functionality. All right, so how do we get there? Well, we're going to use our trusted friend, Dreamweaver. Here's Dreamweaver. In fact, let's just close that file. And in Dreamweaver, I can start, I can create a new file based on HTML5, an HTML5 template. So that's the easiest way, if you're new to any sort of web development, is to start with one of these templates. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the new fluid grid layout. Selecting that. Here, I get the opportunity to make a new document with, oh, look at this, media query for mobile, media query for tablet, and desktop. Not only that, I can start to add some CSS properties. So for mobile, I'm dividing up the screen by quarters, okay, and I can organize my content in there all I want. So I'm setting up the structure for a mobile, tablet, and desktop experience. So it implements those media queries as well as some CSS properties that I can define, and I'll just call this grid, or whatever I just called it. Actually, it wasn't quite grid. There we are. give it a second, and I'll save this as grid HTML. So I save the CSS, I save the HTML, and here's my page. And again, if you think about your own experience, I use my mobile phone all the time. I need to start thinking about mobile first, which is something you'll hear more about. And that's why it gives me this mobile view first. Check this out right down here. Oh, these handy little buttons. Show me what this looks like on a tablet, clicking, and then even a desktop, just like that. So those media queries are already set up. And what I can do from there is I can start to drop in some content, just like it tells me here. Thank you very much, Dreamweaver. It says, go ahead and insert some fluid grid layout div tags. Okay, so from this insert panel, I can insert a fluid grid layout div tag. This will give me fluid elements. So if I want to have a hero image, I can create that hero ID, and I can drop whatever content in here that I want. So in here, I'll just drop in an image quickly. My hero image right there. It knows, it actually sets it up so it actually will scale down for all these different devices. So these are just like smart divs, if you will, smart containers for my content. Let's just drop in a couple more quickly. I'll just paste in some text. There's some text. And again, I can start to build this, this website like that. We'll insert one more. Get some content going on in here. Don't you wish life was like this? You could just like copy paste. Oh, there's all my content, just magically. There we are. All right. Saving this. Everything looks good so far. In fact, my visual aids is this fluid grid layout. All right, so let's just zoom out 1 second. There we are. Let's change. I accidentally hit a shortcut key. There we are. Here's my content now. Now, for desktop, I want this to look differently. Right? As a designer, you would never have text that long. Okay? They say, well, about the width of a bill is a rough guideline. So I'd want to shrink these down, and I can. I can, take this div, and I can resize it down to, about 4 columns. Oh, that's much better. I can scale this down as well. The second one, 4 columns. But I want it. I want it up here. I want this div up here. Well, right here, move up a row. It's changing that CSS. Allows me to move it up a row, so now it's floating next to that element, and it even gives me some padding in there. So I can start to organize this all I want, scaling this down, moving that up, just like that. So that's my desktop version. I'd say that looks good. I like it. Let's go to the tablet version. Again, this is different CSS. So if I take a peek at my CSS, this is different CSS. Here's my desktop version, which I've just modified. Again, all the CSS I didn't have to write. And then here's my tablet CSS. So when I start to change it in the tablet view, that's what it is changing, is that CSS right in there. Scale that down, it starts to change that CSS just like that. So quickly, visually being able to scale things down, I have desktop, tablet, and mobile device. Last thing I'm going to do in here is what I can do is I can really control a number of properties. And I want my content to be bite-sized on mobile. So I might need to hide some data. I don't want all of this content because they're not sitting in a chair in front of their computer. So what if I want to hide this paragraph down here? Well, selecting that div, I get the ability to change the display very easily to clear or none, and it will change that. So let's just run this in the browser. And as I scale it, again, our desktop version, scaling it down. Let me save all my files, save everything, run it. There's my tablet version. So desktop to tablet down to my mobile device, which only has those 2 paragraphs. Okay, so that's how we can we can attack this whole idea of a responsive design, making sure my content looks great across all these different screens. That's exactly what's going on here. All right, so back to this website. In fact, let me open that up. It was built that same way. You saw it scale down. And I can see what that looks like. Let's turn off these guides. And here we have it. So this looks pretty good, and it will scale just fine, and I can preview that, including that functionality. But this is the web. We're viewing this on screens. So I can have animation, and I can have interactivity. And that's what I'd want to add to this, is some fun interactivity as well as some styles. Because when I switch to this page, you guys are like, where did all those graphics come from? I could import them, right? I can import them from Photoshop, or I can use CSS3, which gives me a lot of control when it comes to styling elements. So take, for instance, what I have here, this object. Oh, that's a div I've created earlier. But the hot new thing is to like round the corners, right? It's not cool unless we round the corners. Well, let me round those corners, not with a graphic, but all I need to do is select that specific item, in this case the logo, and add that as a property over here. So the properties for my logo, I can check, let's just go ahead and let's just peek at the various CSS available. As your eyes glaze over, that is too, yeah, it's all baked in, CSS3, CSS, code hinting, as well as in this properties panel, I would select the border radius, okay? So I'll just select that border radius, and then, again, that's what I've selected. Oh, I could type in numbers, but hey, I'm not a numbers person. Let's use this widget enabling me to round, say, the bottom right, the bottom left, like that. I've rounded those corners. It didn't require a graphic or anything. I'm able to use CSS3 baked into Dreamweaver. Still a little complex, right? You might be thinking, oh, I would have never thought to look over there and go through that. That's fine. Because, hey, you know what? I'm a designer. I want to work visually. So maybe I want to style this element. Do I have to go through and add all these CSS properties that I might not be familiar with? Do I have to do that? Well, I don't necessarily, because I can use this program. Yeah, you guys like that? Install and restart. No. All right. Look at this. This is my design in Fireworks. Fireworks users. Everybody raises their hand. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's awesome. So Fireworks, again, this could be a PSD, created in Photoshop, opened in Fireworks. Fireworks gives me the ability to add vector as well as raster objects together. So I've literally just drawn this box, just like I would over here. It's like, oh, okay, I'll just draw a box. There it is. Okay? There's my box. And that's what I've done here. In fact, this looks like an unassuming box. But where are my rounded corners? They're right here. I'll hold down the Alt key, just like that hint showed me, and I can round the corners. Do that, Photoshop. Huh? Where are you at, Photoshop? Can you do that, Photoshop? I didn't think so. All right, so I can round those corners. And this is the cool part. Not only can I adjust that object any way I want and maybe change the gradient. Maybe I want it to go a little darker. That looks a little better. But this is the cool part, having CSS properties for that object. There's my object. There's my CSS that I didn't have to write. I didn't have to punch any of that in. Not only that, I get the vendor-specific prefixes for all of it. So I can choose which ones to have, and if I don't want one, I can turn that off. Is that wrong? Everybody loves that. Down with IE. Come on, guys. Your boss said you got to check that box. So we will check it. In fact, I'll just take these properties. Maybe I just want to take the border radius, maybe the height, maybe the gradient, and I can just copy either all or copy the selected. So whatever the case, I was able to create visually, jump into Dreamweaver, and for that specific element, I'll just scroll down to my emblem. Let's go to that code just to give you a preview. Here it is, what it's currently made of, and I'll paste in all that code that I didn't have to write. It's like, oh, look at that. And half of you are thinking, that's why I don't do web design or development. So I don't want to deal with those numbers, and you don't have to, because as I scroll down, there's my element that I've just added. Cool? Was that easy? Thank you for that. That was easy, and it's scalable. So I'm taking the fear out of the web, right? The web can be fun. And it is. It's a blast. But what does the web allow me to do? And I mentioned this earlier. I can add animation and interactivity, which is why I've gone sort of beyond the printed page, is allow me to create this cool stuff. In fact, I can create this cool stuff with my good friend, as I scroll down, Flash. Oh, Flash is a dirty word. You're not supposed to open that application. Oh, shame on you. I love Flash. It's been pushing the boundaries of the web for years, right? Standards come by and they say, oh, Flash, that's cool that you did that. I'm going to go ahead and implement that now. But that's what Flash does. But we do understand that not only can we make Flash content, here's my SWF file with animation and interactivity. But what my boss asked me to do in this case is he wants it to be HTML, because that's the hot new word right now. Let's make it HTML. I'm like, okay. Well, I am going to charge you for it. I'm going to charge the client, because that means I have to write all this code to move objects around, right? You would think. Well, in Flash CS6, you can install this toolkit for Create.js. It's an extension. It'll take my Flash content, and you guessed it, it's going to output it to my desktop, but look, it's going to output HTML, my HTML content from Flash Pro. So I'm hitting export. It's going to preview it in a browser in a second. There it is, my Flash content publishing out just like that, and you saw it animate. Cool? So it did that whole animation. It's now HTML content. Cool? Is that neat? That's pretty cool, right? Can I clap for it? Can I start it? I'll start it if I have to, I will. Because that is what I want. Give me the freedom to publish or export to any platform, and provided it won't take all your action script and convert it, but it does. The Create.js is a whole framework that it makes it easy for you as a Flash developer to write JavaScript, because it looks so much like ActionScript. Okay, so from there I can go ahead and input that into my page really fast. If I scroll up to the top, here's the JavaScript that does all the work. But the short of it is that it's this canvas element that it draws all my content on. So that's just what I'm implementing there. Okay, so we'll see it load up right in here. You'll see my HTML content that was created from Flash. Going beyond that, and again, geez, I don't have a lot of time, do I? And I'm not sure who was here earlier today when Lee was talking about this, but I can also generate content and make apps using Flash Professional. So I can publish this out to Android, to iOS if I want to. Lee was showing gaming earlier, so I can take this FLA file, which is more like a game. I could use, say, code snippets, which are going to be your best friend if you're new to Flash Pro, and I can start using these code snippets. So if I want this play button, when they click on it, jump to this frame 5, and then maybe it's going to follow your finger. Well, I can add that functionality just by using my code snippets panel, going to click to go to a frame and stop. Oh, let's just read about that. And I don't usually read, I just hit insert, and it's like, whoa, you didn't read. That's what that basically says. I could point, look, just by selecting instance name here, I can point to that object, selecting that play, it inserts that appropriately. It says, I know what you're talking about. It inserts the code. There's my code that I didn't have to write, right in here, and all you need to do is yay. That's fun. Adding that one comment in, because I'm so happy that I was able to add it. And not only that, you can start to add custom code snippets in here as well. So I can add this follow mouse, which was my own custom code snippet, and just add it right away. From there, I've just added 2 code snippets. Let's get to the fun part of publishing this out. I'm publishing this out to my connected Android device. Let's switch to my device cam and watch as that publishes. And usually that's where I enter my password and everybody sees, but I've learned. Where's my, there we are. Oh, look, so there it is. I'm not kidding you. I didn't just launch it. You guys believe me, right? It published out right away. And I'm sorry it's a little blurry, but I'm hitting select, and there he is following. I'm sorry it's so blurry, guys, but look, it's following my finger slowly but surely. All right, cool? Easy? Easy or easy? Those are your 2 choices. How easy is it? It's super easy. And I am over on time, so they're going to kick me off the stage. But it would be wrong of me not to show you one more thing, and that's the ability to make, it would be wrong of me, you're going to have to wait 1 second. Seriously, you guys would get mad if I didn't show you this. You're like, oh, why didn't you show that? Look, I can make apps from Dreamweaver as well, using this template called Jquery Mobile. Okay, Jquery Mobile, the Jquery you know and love, just the mobile version. In fact, if I go to Live View, again, you can see that right here. I can add that content for page 2. Oh, that was easy, right? Again, let's just refresh this. Oh, look at my machine's even like, whoa, you need to get off the stage because it's red right there. But nonetheless, I can go ahead and thank you. That's all for my time. Thanks, guys.